And welcome back to our continuing series of interviews with volleyball coaches around the state. Joining us now, the gentleman right here, and kind of surprised you're not wearing a sweater vest, Jacob Thompson of Rouse. For those folks who may not know, Jacob, the coach of the Rouse Raiders, has a superstition, has a fashion deficiency, whatever you want to call it. He wears sweater vests during regular season matches. Is that the proper way to put it, Jacob?
Yeah, regular season matches. You know, we're not quite there yet. We've still got a little time. The 5A, 6A's got some time before I have to do that. So it'll be some time before we get going on that.
And I'm guessing since you're outside, it probably wouldn't be good for you to be wearing one right now anyway.
It's a little warm and humid right now, so on the patio. So I don't know that I really want one anyways. I thought about putting one on just because I figured you would ask that question at some point in time.
You know it was coming. Hey, on a more serious note, though, obviously the pandemic, COVID-19, has affected a lot. I've been asking the coaches, how has it affected them, first and foremost, as a family and loved ones? And secondly, how has it affected your volleyball program and community?
That's such a broad question with so many different answers. So, at first it's just the thought process of, it'll be over with next week. We'll be back to work next week. Oh, okay, maybe the week after that. And then it's the week, and then it's a month, and then 2 months turns into 3. I guess one of the bright sides was I got to watch a lot more of spring/summer baseball with my boys this summer. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's a bonus and a bright side on that aspect for sure. So, I didn't have any conflicts. There were no camp conflicts, no volleyball conflicts. Nothing else was going on, but we were allowed to complete and compete at baseball. Started at the end of the month of May, and then we rolled all the way into last weekend. So we had 8 of 9 weekends filled with baseball. Mm-hmm. And it was great. It was fun to watch the competition side. So from that standpoint, I guess that's a bonus. The negative side is obviously not getting to compete on the high school side right now.
Right.
Watching the baseball side, watching the spring sports, get canceled for this thing. That's kind of gut wrenching. Knowing that we're kind of going through the same situation right now with the fall sports, and I know UIL is giving us plans, but there are people out there that keep trying to squash those plans over the course of the year and the state and everything else that's going on. So I feel like that's kind of sits in the back of all of our coaches' minds right now, is kind of the uncertainty of what's going to happen. And I know the small schools got to start up on Monday, and they're 3 days in, and I haven't talked to a lot of them just yet to see how it's going. Mm-hmm. I've talked to a couple, and they seem to enjoy it right now. But I think the uncertainty is in the back of our minds of, at some point in time, are we going to get shut down, or is some outside entity going to try to shut competition down again? And I think that just becomes an issue. And I'm sure most coaches across the state are dealing with the same question day in, day out. What's wrong? Is everything okay? No, it's stress, and you get one plan, and you have to come up with another plan.
Right.
I think I told a reporter the other day that, we kind of had a curveball thrown at us in March. It's just kind of been curveball after curveball, but, coaches have done a great job across the state with developing plans to work around, developing plans to stay safe and do our stuff the right way. I just think sometimes it goes unseen and unheard of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that the coaches are doing to make sure that we all are safe.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, for sure.
Yeah.
How hard has it been, given what you've just said, How tough has it been to get a schedule together?
When UIL made that announcement a couple of weeks ago, it was chaotic, and it's still chaotic because it still changes.
Right.
Some can start doing stuff on September 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Some have to wait till September 14th. It's you lose the tournament schedule, you gain a couple of matches, over the course of 9 weeks. It's stressful. We're trying to make the most out of it. It's fine. It's a plan. We have a plan to go. There's constantly coaches asking for, do you have an open date here, an open date there? We're trying to create dual matches, figure out, what Saturdays are going to look like. We have a handful of Saturday matches scheduled currently right now. Some are just varsity only. Some are the whole program.
Mm-hmm.
It's been interesting. It's been a great curveball. Again, coaches dealing with adversity just like we do best, and moving on. We can learn to deal without tournaments. You have to be a little bit more creative with getting those type of matches. You're not going to create the competition side, so to speak, but you can at least do something different to try to make up for the, let's say, 3 weeks worth of tournaments. In theory, at maximum, you could play 27 matches. That's 27 matches that you're trying to figure out how you benefit. With a young team coming back, that tournament play, that August play is important. That month before district play starts is important. Well, we don't have a month this year. We have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That 2 weeks is going to be important. How we structure our practice plans, how we structure the matches. It's more than ever. It's not about wins and losses early on before you get to that district play. It's about a process, and can you build on that process? Do the kids trust the process? Do the coaches trust the process of preparing to be ready? Plus, I think you've got to be ready to create some type of depth on your roster. I think, that's going to be the benefit, because if someone goes down, then you're still having to play a match. Most districts across have, pretty much said, unless your school shuts you down or your district shuts you down, you're playing a match. It's you have to treat it. It's not an injury, but you have to treat it like an injury. If Sally Stud goes down with an ankle and you have a match on Tuesday, you still have to play that match on Tuesday. You got to work around it. So I think the depth on the benches is going to come into play at some point in time this season. We'll see.
Right. You mentioned the 3 weeks of tournaments. I mean, Christian Dunn over at Pearland, and Joel Johnson, Libby, the great coaches at Northwest ISD, Broadline tournament, the Katie, I think Katie and Cypress have a tournament. It's just, from a media perspective, it's just not right that we don't have those tournaments, because, people like myself and Butch Hart in particular, that's when we get to learn about the teams. That's when we get to see, we've heard some girls' names, but now we get to see in person, the teams, the talent, get a good feel early in the season. And obviously, I'm certainly not going to shield it. My favorite tournament is VYPE. Been associated with it for years. And of course, it's right down the road. It's like, 10 miles from me. It's just, I hate it. I can't imagine what you are going through with that, outside of the fact that you're just not as busy planning it.
Yeah, I mean, the planning aspect is gone, which is fine. If we had to give up tournaments just to get a season in, I'm on board, and I don't know that there's a coach out there across the state that would say anything different. We thought that 2017 was tough dealing with Harvey.
Right.
COVID took the cake this year for VYPE. So it's like I sent a message yesterday to Jamie over at Flower Mound, because she's got the traveling trophy. So I got to get that back at some point, and I got to put down the winner for 2020 as COVID-19 being the winner. I missed that busy side of planning it.
Right.
You know, I miss the fact that, you know, we're going to miss out on everyone being under one roof for a while, some of the best across the state.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get better. We'll come back in 21 and we'll be much better. And who knows, the tournament season may look different next year. We may all be looking different from here on out. I don't know.
Wow. Well, obviously the focus is to get this season going. You know, last year, of course, you know, regional semifinals, lost to Friendswood, which of course Friendswood ended up going to state for the first time since 2013. Lost to Friendswood the year before, and of course the state final in 17-18 to Prosper. The reason the year before he lost the regional finals to Cedar Park, who ended up going to the state championship match. So, you know, you've done a heck of a job with that program. You've done a great job raising the expectations. Of course, as we all know with coaches, you know, that's a kind of double-edged sword, because once you get to that point, now it's expected all the time.
Of course.
You find a way to make the most of the talent that you have. And let's face it, you've had some really good talent along the way as well. And you've got some coming back this year as well.
You know, the girls buy in. I don't take all the credit. I mean, the girls buy in, the girls understand it, the staff buys in. It's, you know, we've been fortunate enough to have the same staff for the last couple of years. We've been fortunate enough to have a group of young ladies come through the gym, through the halls at Rouse that, you know, are a notch above everyone else. When we first started those runs deep in the playoffs and in the regional tournament back in 16, you know, it was started with a group of seniors, and then the next year just kind of continued to follow through. And then we had a big giant graduating class after that 17 year. And not a lot of expectations going into the 2018 season from the media standpoint. The girls had a different mindset. The coaching staff had a different mindset. The community had a different mindset. But on a media standpoint, the 2018 season was supposed to be a rebuilding year. But I think that group of kids stepped up, proved themselves. And even then, last year in 19, it was another year that we weren't supposed to do that again. And we were tested early. We were tested early in the playoffs in the second round with Kingwood Park.
Mm-hmm.
Girls have learned how to deal with adversity. They've learned how to overcome it very well, and in learning how to control that 6 inches between their ears has become something nice. And I think on the program side, it's become a staple from top to bottom on the program. The girls buy into it. They understand it. They know what it takes. I mean, and I will expect nothing different with this senior class this year to help guide the young kids that are going to come up and help out in the program and leave their own mark. You know, each graduating class has kind of left their own mark over the years, and I'm looking forward to this little group of seniors doing the same thing.
Well, you definitely have some talent coming back, and like, you know, once you get to the program where you get deep runs in the playoffs, you've been blessed to have the seniors, like you said, just kind of work with the younger kids, and as those kids grow up, they understand what the expectations are, you know, which is a great thing. And by the way, talking about expectations, I don't think anybody would argue if you look at your district, the current district, and say this isn't one of the toughest districts in the state in 5A. Wow, a lot of talent there.
It's a tough district. I mean, we definitely got a tough district added to us. And then you look at the playoff rounds, and then the first round, it's another tough one right off the bat. So that district may be top to bottom one of the top ones across the state as well, with Drip, New Braunfels Canyon, Alamo Heights, Seguin, Bernie Champion. That group of teams is another solid group from top to bottom. You know, I would definitely venture out on a limb to say that the region 3 has become, or region 4, sorry, has become one of the tougher regions again. We've been in region 3 for the last few years, and I think Region 4 now could compete with being one of those top regions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get down to Gregory, Portland, and all of them as well, that's another strong group. So, yeah, the district it's not a slouch. Both the Georgetown schools are rolling. You know, you got Leander dropping down. That's going to help them out. They're going to be competitive. Ashley does a phenomenal job with that group of kids as well. And then you throw in Liberty Hill, you know, coming up, which will be different, but we're all in the same boat right now. So there's not a lot of difference. Everyone, you know, you don't necessarily say that, well, they had a leg up. You know, you can say that some have a leg up right now because some of them are getting to do what they're doing in the gym. They're getting to do some work. They're getting to do some work in the weight room. So maybe a little bit of a leg up for the most part, but they're going to still have a hard time simulating the speed of play.
Right.
That's for all of us. We're all in that same boat right now.
Right. Yeah. And, that's going to be a lot of fun to cover that district for sure. Your district, and then, like you said, the by-district playoffs are going to be phenomenal as well. So, Jacob Thompson, as we let you go, any final thoughts? Anything you want to talk about the community, about anything to do with volleyball?
No, just looking forward to getting back. Looking forward to having all the girls in the gym together again. You know, we had our strength camp through June and the first part of July. It was great. The kids enjoyed it. They were just excited to be back around one another, and they're ready to go. Whatever that means, you know, wear a hazmat suit. I don't care. You know, I can wear a sweater vest over a hazmat suit. That's fine. We can do that. That'd be a new fashion statement.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, I just think it's more along the lines of we're all looking forward to getting back to whatever the new normal, somewhat normal, is going to be from here on out.
And you are one to set the trend for fashion, that's for sure. All right, Jacob Thompson. Thanks, man. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Licata for VYPE and VYPE Live.